this year, which actress has impressed you the most?
A lot of them, for different reasons. But I would say I actually think, and I'm half joking, but I'm also half serious. I think Gaga has really impressed me because while House of Gucci is a deranged film,
Totally.
it's because of her star power that it's been a reasonable financial success. People are
Hmm.
actually watching it and people are talking about it and people are talking about her press for it. And like
Yes.
she's made it a moment in a way that, we've seen all these articles about how West Side Story
Hmm.
was a disappointment, Nightmare Alley was a
Hmm.
disappointment, just like Last Jewel was a disappointment after disappointment, like
But not Gucci.
exactly. And like again, it is not a good film, but it's certainly enjoyable. And even in watching her in scenes, she's not, I won't so much say acting, but she's performing so much. Like
Hmm.
every opportunity to do a gesture, she's doing it. And I think that genuinely is impressive. Like
Yes.
everyone always wants to be dismissive of her as an actress, and like for certain, like she's not Meryl Streep, but
Mhm.
she's so committed whenever she is doing stuff.
And
That's
she's
I'd
very
say.
watchable. You can't take your eyes off her. This was my experience with Gucci. I also love Gaga so
Mhm,
much in House of Gucci, and I think it's a great performance. Not,
mhm.
in that she's so watchable and interesting, and everything she does is bigger. And there is I wrote about Gaga's performance for Into. I'll link to that. And I love this
Mhm.
performance. And I think she would make also a great Oscar winner because the film is about her. And then she gave us this press tour where she is nakedly giving us so many moments from like,
Yeah,
Patricia send me flies to
yeah,
like, I drink the prop water and get drunk on it.
yeah.
So many amazing moments. And she's in a bona fide box office hit in a year where there were not that many.
Yeah,
So she's a star. And this is a moment that maybe she should be rewarded with the Best Actress Oscar.
and you're very right. Like because these organizations like the Oscars, like all of them, BAFTA, like more
Mhm.
than anything else, like these things are fundamentally shows, and they need people to turn up, and they need people to turn up to and make people watch it. And when Gaga turns up, people watch stuff. Like she creates moments on red carpets at every opportunity. She's doing
Mhm.
something. She's good for viewers, and these organizations like that, and like no one wants to admit it, but like that's also a key facet of it. You have
Yeah.
to do the red carpet, you have to like do the statements, where it's like, it's wonderful to be here, and like and say all the
Yeah.
one, you've got to do that, and she does it. And she doesn't have to. She has a successful pop career, like of
Yeah.
everyone here. She doesn't like need this.
Yes.
um but
Uh,
she definitely should be applauded for it.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. My theory about Gaga's performance in House of
Mhm.
Gucci is that there is a mention in the script early on about how Patricia looks like Elizabeth Taylor. And I think Gaga read that note in the script and went and watched all of Elizabeth Taylor's movies and
Yeah,
decided to give an Elizabeth Taylor performance. And she
that
does.
that's very, very true. Like even when I was watching, I was kind of like, there's a lot of like just Lizisms, but like it just, yeah, this, I feel like I'm watching Boom. Like it gets a bit wacky.
Yeah.
But yeah, like also on the list, I just want to say I put like Jessica Chastain and Eyes of Tammy Faye and Kristen Stewart and Spencer, which I know are these like the easy choices.
Mhm.
I think Stewart, particularly in Spencer, because she took a figure, Diana, who is, especially in Britain, so she's when a cultural figure becomes so big, like Marilyn Monroe or Churchill or God, even Hitler or someone, like they mean everyone knows how they feel about them.
Mhm.
Everyone feels many different ways about them. And as a result, it's very difficult to like add something to it. And I think, or just to do anything. And what's especially interesting is like, given that the way the royals are portrayed on screen, it's often very prescribed. It's basically like The Crown. It's like we're in an austere room, we don't really emote. The acting's great apparently, but you know who knows. And I think she found a way to make Diana just like interesting and weird and compelling.
Mhm. I want to say that I agree with you about Jessica Chastain, and I think that movie sort of came and went, and people didn't watch it. But if you watch that performance, I think I was so surprised by how audacious and bold she is as Tammy Faye, and it's another one of those like really the Tammy Faye herself was so performative that you have
Yes.
to perform Tammy, similar to what
Yeah.
Kate did as Katharine Hepburn. You have to perform Katharine Hepburn, and
Yeah.
so Chastain had to perform Tammy Faye. But also, I think she found other notes to play. Like I think her performance is full of heart And it's one of those sort of like, she just invites you in to love this character, which is not an easy thing to do with such a sort of controversial character that many people have, already established ideas about.
Like, I think that it's worth pointing out, like, and I ended up researching this, but like, there's the two actors who have won the most number of awards without winning an Oscar are Isabelle Huppert and Jessica Chastain. Like, they've won tons of awards, and they're the highest. And it's like, so if we're going to talk about, like, say, people who deserve one or should have one, I'd argue Huppert doesn't really like this, or she doesn't really like have a Hollywood career, like even though like she probably should have one, but like not likely. Whereas Chastain like is a Hollywood actor, and like she is so accomplished, and yet they sort of keep sleeping on her. And I think that she's so committed in Tammy Faye to the character, and it's just I feel Chastain has like this inherent warmth in her characters often, and she manages to convey that in like all the Tammy Faye bits, which is just so important for that character.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's an impressive statistics there, because her career is just a little bit over a decade. Like, I think the
2011 was her breakout year.
2011. Yeah, that's
like
11 years ago.
Exactly. And like I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. I just know that they're like the top two, and I think the next person is like Willem Dafoe or someone. And it's so like Willem Dafoe and Isabelle Huppert have a lot more in common in terms of the length of their careers than Chastain does.